Hey guys, thank you so much for coming back to this week's episode of In the Kitchen with Caitlin. I'm super excited because it's this season's episode of our very special brunch edition.
Yay!
Once a season, I do a very special brunch episode because it is my favorite meal. And what do you do with a very special brunch episode? You invite a very special friend, my work wife, Rachel Reiss. We work together at Liz Lewis Casting Partners, and we used to live together at one point, and she's eaten my cooking more than 90% of the people I know in my life. So she's very lucky and well-fed for that.
That's very true.
Yeah. So here we are because our good friends at Siggi's Icelandic Yogurt gave us a lot of yogurt because we're good friends with them, and we're gonna put it in the pancakes. Okay, oh right, because what we're making, let me tell you that before I tell you what's in it. We're making Icelandic yogurt pancakes with a bourbon banana topping. And it's perfect because, you know, bourbon's pretty decadent, but Siggi's makes it guilt-free because there are no hormones, no GMOs, there's more protein than sugar. It's really like thick and fluffy and makes for a really fun pancake. So if that didn't sell it enough for you, we're pretty hungry, so we're just gonna get started. So first thing we're gonna do is separate the eggs.
Cool.
We're gonna separate the yolk from the white, and you smack it down on the counter like so, and then you catch it. And funny, we separated eggs a little bit on our last brunch episode, but that was so we didn't have too much white in our avocado. That was a fun one. And I think the reaction that Michael Mott had was very similar, where it was like, you want me to do what with the what? If you want to pass me the whole eggs, and then we could throw the shell in there, that'd be good, yeah. So you tap it on the counter, so it cracks in the middle, and then you use it like it's a little bowl, an egg bowl. Good times, and good. Nice and separated.
Isn't there a song, Nice and Separated, where it's like, all right, never mind. The way you said it made me think of a song.
It should be a song. You should
Should
write
be.
it. We can call up our last brunch guest and he can make it a song for you. He was a composer. I'm talking a lot about Michael Mott. Let's talk about you, Rach.
All right.
So, we have this word on our show. I don't know, you might have heard of it, but it's called foodition, and it gets people talking about their family food traditions. So, we'd like to know about the Reiss family fooditions.
Well, it's funny because as a kid, I remember my mom always putting so much effort into dinner, and it drove my brother and I crazy. All we wanted to do was like go get pizza or go to McDonald's or something like that. Fast forward like 20 years or so, I'm working for the Food Network, and my brother writes about food in magazines and blogs and all that. Anyway.
So she rubbed off on you a little bit.
A little bit. She like loves going out to dinner and seeing us enjoy it now, which is good. But so I grew up in a Jewish family, as you know. So I feel like a lot of our fooditions revolve around like the high holy days, like Passover and Rosh Hashanah, and we do latkes like most, you know, Jewish families.
I hear that's a thing.
Yeah, you may have heard of them.
I have, yeah. But tell people at home who might not have heard of them.
So latkes are potato pancakes that are customary during Hanukkah. And a lot of people make them differently. My mom does them pretty like big and beefy, but some are more like flat. Side note, with whisking, is it proper to do overhand? Or like, I've seen a lot of people do like
It depends on the
that.
effect you're going for. If you're just beating an egg, what you're doing is just fine.
Okay.
But if you're trying to get air in something, then you're gonna do it the other way.
Got it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, while you're chatting, we're gonna add some Siggi's to this. It's 2 cups in total. And these are 5-ounce cups. So you keep talking and I'm gonna just keep incorporating and you keep stirring. So latkes.
Latkes are a Hanukkah thing.
How does Mrs. Rest do hers?
I don't know the recipe. I actually don't, but
But they're beefy.
I know that she cuts like the shards of the potato, like sticks almost.
Oh, okay.
And then fries them. Puts a lot of other good stuff in it, and then shakes them in a bag, paper bag, to get out some of the oil.
Oh, okay.
Another thing she makes around like for Passover is it's part of the Passover service is eggs and parsley because they all have meaning in the Seder.
Right.
But something that I know we do that a lot of other families don't is one of the dishes we do is, sounds gross, but it's really good. It's salt water with eggs, scallion, and like radishes and stuff like that. But it's really good. It's like a cold soup with eggs and salt water. And I'm a salt person, so anything with salt in it makes me happy.
Nice. Yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had Passover with your family. It was fun. It was my first Passover.
And I think yours was my first like Easter dinner.
Yeah.
When I came to your place.
Yeah. Easter dinner doesn't have nearly as much pomp and circumstance though as Passover.
They're related though.
Yeah.
Same like.
Oh, I mean,
time of the
yeah.
year.
Easter happened like the Easter week leading up to Easter, like the Holy Week they call it. The things that we're commemorating were happening during Passover. Like Holy Thursday was the Passover like Jesus' last Passover Seder.
Yeah, isn't the that painting, The Last Supper?
That was the Seder.
Yeah.
That was his Passover dinner. So it's really ceremonious, and if you go to a church, like if you're really, really religious, like my grandma, you go to like the service every day. So like on Holy Thursday, there's like a mass where like 12 people get their feet washed because it was a custom in those days because like people were either barefoot or wearing sandals to like wash your guests' feet before you had them in for Seder. So like they'll wash like 11 people's feet and like they'll have them up on the altar and they get like blessings and stuff.
I wish that still happened, those foot massages.
Right. No, they did. No, and they would massage your feet with oils. It's like talked about in the New Testament. So we transferred our egg whites to a bigger bowl and we're going to use our hand mixer to beat them. All right. So when it makes little mounds and ribbons like this, that means you did it right. Ta-da! It'll look like a little bit firmer than whipped cream. So it'll look more like Cool Whip. A little bit. So you start stirring with this spatula and we're going to gradually pour in some flour.
Spatulas always just make me happy because it makes me think of licking the bowl of cake batter.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really fun. You don't lick the bowl of this, there's raw egg.
Although it deceivingly looks like cake batter, so part of me wants to.
I know.
But I won't.
It won't taste like that yet because we don't have any sugar in this yet. So you might be surprised. It's very tart because there's low sugar, but it's not the same as cake if that's what you're going in for. You know that feeling when you go in to taste something and it's like not what you expected. You're like, whoa. It would be like that, but it's let's keep going. Keep stirring. So we're adding this. Ooh, sorry. So it's gonna start stiffening up. Really, people ask how I get my impressive arms. I said it to Hallie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it to you. It's stirring. All the
Who
time.
needs working out?
Exactly. I mean, if you're cooking, you are working out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone on the show knows that I run though too, so they know that's a big fat lie. Yep. All I do to stay in shape is stir. I just stand in my kitchen and stir all day. So at this point, we always like to get people to talk about themselves while they're stirring something. It's become kind of an accidental theme on the show that we like to point out. So tell us a little bit about what you do and what you've been working on.
Well, I am a casting director at Liz's Casting Partners. You may have heard of it.
No, it doesn't ring a bell. I don't know anything about what those people do. So tell me, what do they do there?
So we cast, commercials, movies, some theater.
Wow.
What else do we do?
You sound
TV.
busy.
We are busy.
You're welcome, Liz.
Check us out at www.lizlewis.com.
Say that for the end. Say that for the end. Keep stirring. Keep stirring.
But yeah, so I do a lot of commercials, voiceover, and film, and the TV that we do, like host searches.
So a pinch of salt, by the way, guys. Keep talking.
And I just
And
did
baking
a
powder.
movie that I'm excited about.
Oh,
They're
tell
still
us.
wrapping up. It's called
Tell
A Year
us.
and Change.
Okay. Fun title.
Yeah.
Tell us what we can know about it.
I'm probably gonna make it. I'm bad at summarizing things.
Oh, that's
but
so good.
It's a coming of age story. It's starring Brian Greenberg
Nice.
and T.R. Knight.
Those are
Marshall
cuties.
Alman. Yeah.
Nice. Oh.
But yeah, I'm really excited for it, and it was such a fun project to work on. I went to Baltimore to do some casting.
Did you? How was B-Town?
It was good.
So I'm going to put half of the egg whites in while you keep stirring, and you're going to fold them in.
Okay.
Okay, so keep going. So fold as like
Yeah,
lift
what
it
does
and
that mean?
scoop- Okay. So to fold means to lift it from underneath and put it over like that.
Got it.
So just scoop from the bottom, lift, and turn it. Okay, guys? So folding, and just keep doing that motion.
Okay.
And then I'll add a little bit more once those look a little folded. Because the whole point of making the egg whites is so that they fluff.
Got it.
Okay, so you're really getting your arm into it. I'm proud of you. So,
I just want arms as great as yours, Caitlin.
thanks. Well, you know. So, A Year and Change, Baltimore, Brian Greenberg. What was it like to work on that project? Did you? Brian Greenberg's like a hottie. Did you get to spend time with him?
I did not.
Oh.
But I hear he's a wonderful guy.
That's hilarious. Did you?
How do I know when I'm done?
I'll tell you. Because I'm standing right here and I know what it's supposed to look like, so that's the perk. So keep going, because then we got to incorporate more egg whites, but it'll look a little creamier. I know, I put you guys to work. You earn your keep when you're on this show. Awesome. So you've been doing casting for a long time, but you started in reality. How did you wind up doing that?
I got really lucky. I started casting actually in scripted, doing a lot of theater and film.
Nice.
But when I started looking for jobs,
Right.
I took like a 4-week freelancer gig. Figured why not? It's 4 weeks.
Right. What's that? What's 4 weeks? It's regular work.
Yeah. So I took it, and it became what is known now as the show Chopped.
So how'd you find this gig? Like,
I applied on, I think, like entertainment careers.
whoa. Okay.
Yeah, but I was interning previously for someone, and it just like random coincidence happened that the person I interviewed with was best friends with someone I had interned for.
Whoa.
And I actually like
It is a
emailed the person the day before saying like, I'm looking for jobs. If you hear of anything, let me know. I go on this interview, and she writes back saying, heard you just met with so-and-so. Looks like you're on the right track. So
Oh, wow.
then this 4-week gig became a staff position, and Chopped, which is now a big show.
Most of you have heard of it.
Yeah.
I'd assume.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so that's how I got it. I cast 11 seasons
Wow.
of it. Yeah.
Stop it.
So
did.
I
No.
love eating.
Yeah.
Eating's a favorite pastime.
So but like, you get to eat while you're casting chefs? Is that how that happens? I don't get to eat when I cast actors in like commercials. How does that work? Fill us in.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a bunch of food shows besides Chopped. Some cooking is part of the audition process, some it's not.
Right.
But obviously, to know about chefs and to know who's good, you eat at a lot of restaurants.
Wow, that must have been rough.
Yeah, really, traveling and eating really makes a day hard.
That's a tough job.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, grueling.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But the funny thing is, I'm a terrible cook. I know a lot about food.
You know what good food looks like?
Yep. My taste buds are very
Developed.
I get ingredients, but I don't cook.
Yeah. Well, that's when you came here and you were like, I'm gonna make an effort.
Yeah.
Just for me. Also because I told you could eat when we were done.
Yes.
That's the selling point for a lot of people who are on this show. I actually had people write into the Facebook page, like on the fan page, being like, your show's really delicious. How do I sign up to be a guest? And I'd like never met these people. I think it's happening a lot. And I'm like, oh, wow. I guess it looks good.
You feed us.
Yeah.
You give us drinks.
Yeah.
It's great.
I know. That's why we have coffee mugs.
Although that would be a nice addition.
Some late night shows, I don't want to say the name and throw them under the bus. There's a rumor in the industry that the reason they have coffee mugs is because there's liquor inside them. We actually have coffee today because it's brunch. It's 11 a.m. somewhere, right? Exactly. All right, that looks beautiful.
Woo!
I'm going to do one final swoop around the sides here, but you did a great job.
Thanks.
For just learning right now what fold means. You did excellent.
Thanks.
I'm proud of you. Okay, so now that this looks beauteous, we're gonna go over to the stove and make us some pancakes. We're gonna get this bad boy on medium heat. We've lightly greased this with butter. And I'm gonna can you turn the water on for me for 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay, and now stop. We're gonna put a few drops of water.
What does that do?
When it fizzles up, you know it's hot enough. So it's gonna bubble up and be gone. And that's when you're like, oh my God, now I can put a pancake on there and it won't like spill everywhere. Because the heat's what keeps it like congealed.
Got it.
That's not the technical term. I can already hear my dad at home being like, stop trying to be Alton Brown. It's not happening. Stop trying to make fat chocolate. Right? Yeah. See, it's starting to get little bubbles in it.
Mm-hmm.
When it totally fizzles up, like it's doing right now, that means we can make a pancake. So we're gonna do only 3 at a time because these are pretty fluffy.
Yeah. This seems much like thicker than usual pancake batter. Right?
Yes, and that's a big part of it's because of our friends at Yogurt, Siggi's Yogurt. So these are almost like what do they call them?
We're doing really great at using our words today.
I am so bad at using my words. It's those cakes that the coal miners used to make on the shovel over the fire, and they're very fluffy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the foodie places started making them at brunch, like very recently, as like a trend. Mm-hmm. And then because they absorb topping and fruit very well.
Someone help us.
Someone help us. Can we phone a friend? It doesn't matter. It's all right. It's all right. It'll come to us.
It's gonna like kill me when it comes.
In the middle, because we know.
I know.
Those. It's okay. But anyway, so we were talking about over there working with chefs. So talking about working with chefs versus working with like other kinds of famous people. Tell me.
Well, one of the things I loved about working in the non-scripted world, which is the nice way to say reality, is they don't know why they should be on TV. So it's up to you to like pull it out of them and like help them get there and like form what they're saying, which is really fun because I was into psychology and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, actors are pretty. They know what they want to say. They know what they want to put out there. But with chefs, you get to help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty
Yeah.
chatty though.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't imagine like, I don't know. I can't imagine like Bobby Flay ever being for a loss of words.
And that's a big part of cooking shows is not only their cooking ability, but being able to communicate why they make the decisions they do and what they're doing, which you do very well.
Oh, thanks. I passed the test. You'd bring me in for something? Yes.
But yeah, there are some like super talented chefs that may not be a good fit for a food show because
English
cooking is
just
what they
escapes them.
do.
Right.
Like, they can't explain it. They just have that natural ability and go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to
Be able to communicate why and
and
how. Yeah, I mean, I even have to say, like, you get better at practice, though, with the cooking on camera thing. I'll be the first to admit it. The one critique a lot of people had for me in season 1 was when I'd stop and explain. See how they're, like, moving a little bit? That means it's ready for a flip job.
Yeah, I feel like it's harder to tell with these
they
when
don't
they're
bubble up as
ready
much.
because they're so thick that you don't, like, see it forming as fast.
There we go. Ha ha ha. Ta-da!
Can you do when you, like, throw it up really high and catch it?
No.
Shall we try?
So once your pancakes are all cooked up, it is time for our bourbon banana topping.
We just clapped at the same time. It was really cute.
Yes, because we're both that excited about it. So what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna put some water in this little pan. And if you could pass me that sugar behind you, Rachel.
How much water? It doesn't matter.
Actually, that was a good question. So it's a cup of water and a cup of sugar. And we're gonna make a syrup out of this. So then if you could cut up those 2 bananas.
Any way in particular?
Little rounds.
Okay.
And I'm gonna grab behind you. We have some cinnamon as well. And
How much cinnamon?
Cinnamon, that's about 2 tablespoons. Thank you for asking. We're gonna microplane about a couple of teaspoons of ginger, or to taste, because that's kind of zesty for some folks.
A microplane is pretty much just grating, right?
It's a mini cheese grater. It's like tiny, finer holes, but yeah, it's the same concept of just grating it. So if you don't have a microplane, you can in fact use like the finest on your cheese grater, and you'll be okay. Sorry, pardon my reach.
Are these too thick or good?
Those are great. Okay, so I'm gonna toss that in the sink. And then make sure to mix this so your sugar doesn't burn. We're making a syrup, guys. And then we're gonna turn down the heat just a little because this is a tiny pan and that is a big flame. And that usually is not a recipe for success. Right? That looks good, Rach. I'm impressed. Yeah. And so, oh man. Are you excited yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the fun part.
I love bananas. Bananas are actually one of my favorite fruits.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. See, it's like I knew. I probably did actually.
Guilty pleasure, Dairy Queen banana milkshake.
Yeah, Dairy Queen's. It's a good guilty pleasure. Anything with the Dairy Queen. It reminds me of Waiting for Guffman, to be honest. They'll always have a home for me at the Dairy Queen. Always. Parker Posey with that one small piece of chicken. So you want to start putting those in here. Yeah. And now we're gonna, so while you do that, I'm gonna get a shot glass. Am I? No, I'm kidding. We're just gonna use the ounces on this. We're not as fancy. Actually, it's more fancy, I would say. And do 3 ounces, which is a shot. If you're like, how do I measure 3 ounces? Just get a shot glass, kids. There you go. All right. So now that's gonna simmer. And it's gonna be glorious. And it's gonna reduce, that's the goal. Just like it was with our gravies and our balsamic reductions we've made and all that fun stuff. It's gonna start to simmer down.
Simmer down now.
Simmer down now. And it'll bubble over. Not over, but it'll bubble up. And that's when we know it's getting ready. Ready to rock on our pancakes.
I'm going to steal this last piece for me.
Go for it. Yeah, that's for you. And now it's just hanging. So once it reduces about 50% and it starts to look like a syrup, we can turn off the heat because it is ready. Now it's time for everyone's favorite part. The eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was waiting to see if you would say it, but it's all right. It's all right. So, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I usually like to cheers the food.
Cheers the food?
Yeah.
All right.
Like cheers it. Oh, it's like cheesecakey. Look at that. That's so cool. You ready?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wow. That is one fluffy, fluffy, moist pancake.
I love the topping.
Thank you. Oh my God. Decadence, like, whoa. But it's not as guilty because it's like 0% fat. Thanks, Siggies. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for feeding me.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure, as always. Thank you, Siggies, for giving us some guilt-free pleasures here. And if you want to get some Siggies, you can go to Whole Foods, you can go to Fairway, or you can go to their website and find it on the store locator. You can find Rachel Reiss. She's got a casting Facebook page, so if you want to friend her on that, if you're an actor, or you can check out www.lizlewis.com. Look her up that way. Good times. And thank you guys for tuning in week after week and all your likes on Facebook because it makes me feel really special. So be sure to tune in next week and don't forget your empty stomach.